What's up, Tie Nation? How's everyone doing today? This video is going to be a little bit different. Okay, obviously we know we lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are now, I think, 3-7 or 3-6. Who knows what the record is for the Tennessee Titans? I'm sure people will tell me in the comments. I think they're 3-7. But as we know, the Tennessee Titans this year are not very good. And this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to talk about the Jags game. I'm going to be talking about basically the Tennessee Titans in general as a whole, as a team. Okay? Because there's a lot of people, saying it's the defense, it's the offense, it's the offensive coordinator, it's the head coach. I'm going to give you guys my spiel, what I really think is wrong with the Tennessee Titans. And, like I've heard before on Twitter and social media, is that, the Tennessee Titans aren't a talented football team. They have maybe 3 or 4 players that are good, and that's it. A lot of people blame J-Rob, John Robinson, the former general manager of the Tennessee Titans. A lot of people blame the play calling. Again, really, really bad in the red zone for the Tennessee Titans, where back in a couple years ago, we were really, really, on point, on stellar, just couldn't be stopped on red zones. The Titans were nasty. They were, top in scoring in the red zone, and apparently now they can barely find the end zone. The defense, people are saying it's the safeties, it's the DBs, not getting pressure on the quarterback. People are complaining, saying that Harold Landry got the contract and now he's a no-show and he's not showing up. Jeffrey Simmons can only do so much against the offensive line. There's a lot that goes in, people talking about Tannehill, people talking about Will Levis. In my opinion, to be honest with you guys, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think everyone has a solid reason, solid point, and I think you can't just stick and point your finger at just one category on this team. You can't just be like, well, it's just the offense. The offense is terrible. It ruins everything. It stems, right? Obviously, we know that J-Rob is probably one of the biggest pieces of why this team is the way they are and just the way they're constructed, right? J-Rob has failed time to time on draft picks. I believe there was a draft. I think there was actually, to be honest with you, I think there was a stat saying, I think there's one player from one of the draft classes. I think it was like the 2020 draft class from J-Rob. There's one player actually playing, and that's Kristian Fulton. And, he has his ups and downs as well. I'm not saying Kristian Fulton is a great player, but again, he had some moments where it's a head scratcher, and you're like, what are you doing? So, again, got pulled in the Jacksonville game because what Mike Rabel said, it was coaching decision, right? You have that. So you have to think about that stat, and you have to wonder, like, what's happening with this team? I think some people are right when it comes to talent. The team's not as talented, man. The roster isn't as good as it was from years ago, and there's only so much you can do as a coach to coach these players. I mean, if you just don't got it, you just don't have it. I feel like Mike Rabel, at the same time, people are wanting Mike Rabel's head, and I don't fully agree with that, that situation. I do believe that Mike Rabel has officially checked out of the Tennessee Titans. I honestly think that his body language, seems like he's just in there just to do just enough for the media part, coaching part, and gets going. I think To be honest with you, I think he officially checked out. Now, do I think we should fire Mike Rabel? I don't think so. I'm not there. But I understand people's opinions and of them wanting him out because, I mean, you can tell he just has no emotion. He just looks like he's really, really tired of doing his job. Like he's there. He's like, yeah, this is him in the press conference. Yeah, we just, we didn't do good. And, he was saying Jacksonville was a better team. And, that wasn't that type of energy he had earlier in with the Titans. So I think there's a couple players that have, to be honest with you, have checked out from the Titans. I think Derrick Henry is another one that's kind of, he's athletic. Obviously, he wants to play and he loves football. But, with this offensive line that they gave him, he doesnent look happy. Another one that doesn't look happy, it looks like he's just there for a paycheck, is Christian Fulton. We talked a little bit about him. He seems like he's just, like I said, he's just there. He's just there, and, he doesn't really have many answers for the media when they ask him questions. Just body language, just, like I said, looks like he just doesn't want to be there. So there's a couple players, like I said, including Mike Rabel, I feel like that have checked out of the Tennessee Titans. Yes, now offensive coordinator is someone else to be put blame on. Scheme-wise, he has moments. It's not too bad. But then again, when you give Derrick Henry, one of the best players in our offense, 10 carries a game, that's questionable. But at the same time, this offensive line, the offensive lineman coach, is he going to get, is there questionable for him as well? The offensive line looks terrible. Will Levis, as much as they want to say that, they're not worried about him regressing and stuff like that, I don't care what he says. Obviously, he's wants the starting position spot, but you can't tell me that he feels comfortable every time he hikes the ball within 2 seconds that they're on him. Like, it's impossible. And obviously, he says that he's not going to regress, but I feel like in his head, when that happens, his body's going to react to those plays. And as many times as that happens, I don't care who you are, man. You get hit by one of these defensive ends that are coming at you from left to right, and you're not knowing. You're gonna have a little bit of a muscle memory, and your body's gonna react to certain situations, and it's gonna change his game. It is. It's gonna change his game, and no matter how many times he's gonna say, "Hey, it's okay. This is part of the game. This and that. Blah blah blah." It's not gonna change. It's going to change. It's a mental game, and that messes with your psyche. And I think if we don't get Will Levis a line, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter if he can throw the ball, if he's athletic, because you're gonna ruin another quarterback. And Tennessee Titans don't seem like we can build up these players. And it comes from coaching, right? It comes from deep within. Like, why can't we coach these players better? Why can't we groom these players? Tennessee Titans haven't groomed a quarterback in God knows how long. We had Jake Locker, we had Vince Young, we had Marcus Mariota, where we tried to make him a pocket passer, which he wasn't. And initially, if he fell flat. And I'm not saying that Marcus Mariota was going to be the next thing, but I'm just saying it just shows you, where this Tennessee Titans coaching staff is. But yeah, defense-wise too, the defense, the run game, the run defense has been terrible. Where that was one of the biggest strong points of the defense was the run defense. It seems non-existent in every game we play. Now we're, with our record, I believe we're like the 6th pick from number 1, I think. Yeah, and I just, man, it's really upsetting. It's really hard, as a fan. And I get it, guys, right? You're upset. You want the team to win. But at one point, you're just like, what do we do? And I'm not one to see like, oh, yeah, we need to lose all the games to get better draft picks. I'm not. But, I mean, when we're halfway done with the season and what you have, what's on the field isn't what you want, what do we do? What do you guys do? And the first thing to do, especially is to build on the offensive line. You need to get big boys in there. You need to protect Will Levis. If Will Levis is the future for the Tennessee Titans, we need to protect him. Because, man, let me tell you guys, we could get, as many wide receivers as we can. We can get a bunch of tight ends, another running back, whatever you guys think that's going to be good on the offense. But if we have no line, nothing to protect Will Levis from even getting a chance to hike the ball and at least take a few or 3 or 4 seconds back, it's pointless. There's no point. You got to protect him. And the good thing is, obviously it's not good for Ryan Tannehill, but at least the Tennessee Titans going forward towards the end of the year, we know if we want Will Levis or not. And for the most part, I think people are accepting and want Will Levis going forward. So now that we have that, now let's move forward. Let's get an offensive line. Let's start getting these pieces together, because let me tell you, the Tennessee Titans are in worse shape than a lot of people think. They need DBs, defense. They need, like I said, they need a new tight end because Chig ain't it. Are we going to pay Derrick Henry? Probably not. It's probably going to be his last year with us. But the good thing is to look forward is you got the you got the draft. And we got the most cap space next year. So that's something to look forward to and something that is promising for the Titans. So hopefully, like I said, Rand's year this year was almost like, I would say almost, it was like a warm-up, okay? I wouldn't judge Rand on this year alone, First time GM, coming into a situation where kind of John Robinson has sort of messed up, especially the draft picks, definitely messed up some draft picks, and that's hard to come back. That can set back a franchise, especially not hitting draft pick after draft class every year. That could really set us back. But I want to see what Rand has. I think he has a good eye on potential players. Now, don't get me wrong, GMs are not going to hit on every single player in the draft. It happens, but for what he has, Tajay Spears is someone that I think was a really, really nice pickup when I myself didn't think it was a good pick at first. I was like, oh, I don't know, and everyone questioned him about the injury on his knees. And look, he's been a really good, nice surprise, and people feel comfortable with him in the backfield. So hopefully we see more of that. I don't know what else what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let Rand do his thing and see what happens with this team. But as of right now, man, we're stuck in a bad situation. Like I said, let me know down below, guys. What do you think we need to start at first? Do you agree with me? Is it offensive line? Get the offensive line going and then try to figure it out. Like I said, we have free agency, we have the draft, and we have cap space. So we should be good for next year. It stinks that we're talking about it right now in December about, the Titans and where we're at. And I hate talking about oh, well, let's look already for the draft and stuff. And let's see who, we're in December. There's a lot of football left, but the productivity on the field shows different. And it sucks, It sucks as a fan. It sucks, we're excited every year. We want to see this team succeed, and then this happens. But, hopefully we don't go back too far in the dark ages, and that we have at least maybe a year or two to get back into that in that competition mode and compete for the AFC South. Because as we know, that's another thing people are talking about. The AFC South has completely changed. The AFC South is getting better and better. They got their young quarterbacks. Jacksonville got their quarterback. Houston apparently has their CJ Stroud, which he looks, again, amazing. And good for Houston. I mean, they got their quarterback. And you have the Colts that, have their, Richardson. I mean, he's out, but I mean, they have their quarterback. So AFC South is getting better and better as the years go on, and we can't play catch up. We don't want to play catch up, and it seems like this year, unfortunately, we took a step back, and hopefully next year we'll take a step forward. So let me know, guys, down below. Got some good news. Got some exciting news. Will drop sooner, probably down the line, probably next week or something. Working on working with some people, and I think you guys will enjoy it. But thank you guys so much for everything. Okay, remember, chin up. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm gonna bring still Titans content. Love talking with you guys with Titan football. We're gonna bring in some Titan players. We're gonna do everything here on this channel. Hope you guys have a good night, and always tighten up. Let's go.